Welcome to FusionBazooka. In today's video, I will be reading and commenting on some posts made on r/amIthebutthole. Story 1. Am I the butthole for not loaning someone a few bucks to pay for a meal they couldn't afford after they insulted me? My 18 female acquaintances and I went to a restaurant the other day to celebrate our recent graduation from high school. One of them, Layla, brought along friends of theirs without consulting the rest of the group, something I wouldn't have minded had it been literally any other person than the one she invited. Kate used to bully me in middle school because of my very slender stature, amongst other things. I was a bit of an ugly duckling back then, and rather tomboyish. She went out of her way to make snide comments about me whenever the chance arose. I wasn't entirely innocent, though, as I did the same in retaliation. We apologized to one another sometime around the start of high school, and I accepted hers because since I had grown out of that behavior, I couldn't figure that she had too, and really, what child wasn't terrible in middle school? I quickly realized this couldn't have been further from the truth. When she slid back into her old habits soon after, I steered clear of her for the remainder of high school career. We had never had any classes together, and up until the day of the incident, I hadn't known she was friends with Layla. My acquaintances and I aren't close, so I don't fault that one person for inviting Kate. I don't know if she knew our history. Despite my displeasure, I treated Kate the same as everyone else. Unfortunately, she didn't extend that same courtesy. She made a point of remarking that I hadn't grown since middle school, sometime around when we first entered the restaurant, and she poked fun at the size of the dish I ordered. When I returned from the bathroom after touching up my lip gloss at the end of the meal, she asked if I had flushed good and needed a breath mint. I told her that was disrespectful and to mind her own business. She said she was just joking. We all intended on paying for our own meals, and when the supper bill came around, but Kate realized she had overspent by about $40 and asked if she could borrow some cash from one of us. The thing was, most of my acquaintances had about only enough for their own meals and maybe a ride home. The person who invited Kate was able to loan her $5 and another $10. I had mentioned going shopping after we ate, so the group knew I had quite a bit of extra cash on me and asked me to spot her. I declined, saying I refused to help someone who spent the majority of the outing insulting me. That's when everyone started arguing, because literally no one else had a cent to spare but me. They said I was being selfish, since I was the only one with the most money in the group. I said we had all made an agreement about how we would handle the bill, and it wasn't my fault she didn't have enough money. I paid my bill and left when the Uber I had called during the fuss arrived. When I got home, I saw that I had been kicked out of the group chat we used to plan outings, and no one would return my calls asking why I had been expelled. That's when I figured the bill thing was the reason for it. Am I the butthole? Yeah, OP is definitely not the butthole in this situation. Now, how do you overspend $40 on a meal? I mean, she was expecting for OP to pay for the meal, and not to mention she was also, making snide comments. That's just not right. So OP receives 0 out of 5 butthole score, and Kate receives a 2.5 out of 5 butthole score. Story 2. Am I the butthole for turning off a video game that my son and his friends were playing with? My son had a sleepover with a few of his friends last night. They had gone swimming and played at the park before coming back to my house to play video games in the living room. I bought them a pizza to eat and was overwhelmed by the smell of 10/11-year-old boy armpits. I told them to go put deodorant on, and they said okay. I checked in on them a few minutes later, and they still hadn't washed up. At that point, they started to push back that they didn't need it because they already put some on last night. I said whatever. Deodorant they put on last night had gotten washed off at the pool, and you all spent the last hours running around in the warm weather. I told them again to put some on. They still didn't put any on, so I turned off the video game. Apparently, they were just about to pass a difficult level before I turned it off, and they were very upset with me. My son later told me that I embarrassed him. I told them that I handled it the way I did because I wasn't getting their attention. One commenter writes, "You're the butthole. They're kids. They do this sort of thing. You definitely embarrass your son in front of his friends for a relatively minor issue. I will say it is a lesson they need to learn. Being smelly as an adult is embarrassing. Good to teach kids hygiene is important." I agree. And OP is definitely the butthole here, because while he was trying to teach a lesson of hygiene, he could have done it in many other ways, as some Redditors also comment how the Dad could have given a ultimatum: finish this level and then put on deodorant. If you do not, I'm going to start yelling at you, or I'm going to turn off the TV. But he didn't do that. So it was not the best course of action, and for that I'm going to give OP 1 out of 5 butthole score. And the kid, I will give 0 out of 5 buttholes. I hope you enjoyed today's Reddit stories. Put down in the comments below, what did you think? Was the dad being a butthole? Was he not? What are your comments? What could he have done better? For the first post, do you think that the friends are really OP's friends? I believe not. But comment down below. Until next time, I'll see you.